So here is what I did. I went to setup and I did the graduation requirements. And for a high school diploma, we have a total of 22 credits. I know the state of Mississippi says 24, but that's including some college and career readiness, which we're not going to do. And, we're homeschooled. We get to make it what we want it to do. We can decide. And I feel like four high school Englishes, three maths, and we'll start in pre-algebra for a diploma. So a pre-algebra, an algebra 1, and then some other high school math. Like, they could take anything above algebra 1, or they could take business math or consumer math or personal finance. They could take any of that and have their three maths done, right? But I do think that pre-algebra and algebra 1 are necessary, at the very least. Okay, for social studies, this is what the Mississippi requires for graduation: world history, U.S. history, econ, and government, and Mississippi history. Geography is not even included in their requirements, so I didn't include it in ours. 3 sciences, biology, and 2 high school sciences of any kind. 1 health, either a PE or a health, and I'm considering something like our Red Cross class to be a health, right? Or we can add a health of some type each year if we want to. And then 4 electives. 1 fine art, 2 modern language, and 1 technology. That's up for debate. If you want to adjust that, you can. That's entirely up to you. I do think that having 1 technology is, it's going to be good for them. And actually, I'm going to change that because they really only need half a technology to graduate. All right, so that's done. Let me go back. And then there's, so it's 21 and a half, 4 other electives. Our 4 other electives that they're already taking is Bible. Bible for 4 years fulfills, and they're going to get Bible for 6 years. So they're going to get more than the required number of elective credits. But then they can also add to that, like with whatever crafting, etc. Now, I know you don't consider Bible an elective, but as far as transcript-wise, that can be another elective for them. So they'll have more electives than they'll need. Now, for college, I did 4 maths, algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, which they will get both of these when they take algebra 2. And then some other high school math, whether it's algebra 3 or personal finance or business math, doesn't matter. So 4 maths. 4 social studies, the world history, U.S. history, government, econ, and then I've just added in geography. And for geography, we can either include world geography or it can be U.S. geography. Either one of those geographies, I've set it up to fulfill that requirement. 4 sciences, biology, and 3 other high school sciences. If they just take science every year, they get all their stuff. They have to have a half a credit of PE and a half a credit of health. And then 4 electives, and I'm going to change that technology back to 0.5 because that's all they have to really have. And then 5 other electives, which again, they'll get because they're going to get their 4 Bibles, and then they just need to take 1 other elective at some point. And then they get 25.5 total credits. Right? So that is all they need to graduate with us and be ready for college. And I feel like because, we are a homeschool situation, this is fine. We can determine what they need to graduate. It's up to us. And I think 25, technically 26, because if they take technology, if they stayed in small business management 2 semesters, they're going to get 26. They're going to get a whole credit of technology, right? Or if they take something else, they're going to get what they need. So that's they'll get all their credits if they just take 2 electives a year. Not a big deal. All right, so here's the cool part. So go to guidance and then plan and then find your student. And I'm going to pick Lauren just because she's mine. And it will actually tell you if they're off track or if they're on plan. So for college requirements, you just click college requirements down here, or whichever requirements you want to look at, either diploma or college. You can see either one to see if they're on track for both, right? So I've got goal community college here. You can set it for something else, but community college is fine. You could even, say unknown or state university. It's still going to pull in whatever we set for this college requirement, so it doesn't matter. This is just where you can put the student's goal in here. Lauren's more likely to go Northwest, so I don't care. And then you can make little notes here about the student. So you could say something like needs placement test for math or whatever it is here, and then edit that as you want to. So we can track automatically what each student has done. Now this right here that she's already taken in 9th and 10th grade has already filled in based on what Jupiter has in the system. I didn't put any of that in. But for 11th grade, I went ahead and planned for her. Like I can take this out. I can delete, like she's in the schedule for this, so it won't let me change it. But what she's not in the schedule for, it will let me change. I can take it out. Like all of this stuff right here, I planned for her. I put it in. Yeah, so she is already enrolled. What she's already enrolled in will pop out. And once they complete it in the year, or once they start getting grades, the grade pops up next to it so you can see the credit. You can see what they have. And then that in turn calculates their credits down here, their total, and it gives you their GPA, all in the same thing, which is really sort of cool. So then I can look at this and I can say, okay, Lauren, what does she need for social studies? How am I supposed to know? I don't have to go back and look at the plan, or I don't have to go back and look at the recommendations, the requirements list. I can click it and it tells me what she's missing. So it tells me she needs U.S. government and economics. So if I go over here to her 12th grade year and I add government and economics, then she'll have everything she needs. So this is her plan. So we can see each student, what they need, what they've had. So let me pick another student that I haven't adjusted. Let me pick Sonia Mayberry. All right, so we're going to you have to tell it what the requirements are for each setting. And I've got it set for college. All right, so here's what she's had so far. So as far as math is concerned, she's enrolled in Algebra 3 this year. I've already put her in Algebra 3. She'll have all her math credits because she's enrolled in Algebra 3 already. And I set this to be English 1 through 4 because we're teaching them in multi-grade levels per class. So it's just like language arts. They get a language arts credit each year, and it doesn't matter. So she's already had 2. So this year she's going to have language arts first semester, language arts second semester. So now she's got 3 out of 4. And if she takes ELA seniors, and I did ELA seniors separately because they might take that as a English comp through Northwest, so I just made it a different class. But we can do whatever we want in reality. So then that would get her 4 out of 4 for English 1 through 4 that she needs for high school. Isn't that the most awesome thing? And then right down here, I could see exactly, and when I click it again, it goes away. But the red things tell us there's some requirements missing. And we can adjust the plan to see if we can fulfill them, see how to fulfill them. Like her 11th grade year, if she's had Mississippi history, which she may have already had it, I can add Mississippi history right here. I don't know why it's not going to take it. Let's see. Let's do Mississippi history again. For some reason, it's not taking it. Oh, because it didn't happen through Growing in Grace. But I think we can edit it to show that she's had it. But what we can do is we can just say, oh, all right, she's already had Mississippi history. So we can override this and we can just look and say, oh, she's had it. It's just not counting it for some reason. But still, even though it's not counting it because she wasn't here in 8th grade and it went in the system, we can still visually tell she's had all the credit she needs. Right? And I think she's already had Mississippi history. I don't know for sure. But I'm pretty sure that was on her form she filled out. She already had it. But it doesn't matter because, we can override the system just by looking at it and add that credit in here. Let me see if it changes the number when I take it out. No, it doesn't. So what we could do is we could put that credit in here. Yeah, it's still not going to give it to her because it's not taken through the system. That's fine. I'm going to play with it and see if we can adjust her transcript to reflect that she's already had it. And if we can, then that'd be great. But like if I added Mississippi history this year, now it's got it marked if she took it this year. So if she takes Mississippi history, where you do geography, delete this. We're going to do geography first semester and then Mississippi history second semester. Boom. Now all she needs is her econ and government her senior year. But if she's already had these two, then she could take econ and government this year and not have to take a history in this year. But we can, you can delete, you can even, it has a TBA, which means you have something planned, but you're not exactly sure what it's going to be. Right? So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, last year she had sports, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. She must not have had sports if it's not in here. So cancel that. She must not have taken sports last year because it's not in here. But there we go. We have those requirements. And her PE requirement, she runs track. So we could actually add that to her transcript that she ran track and give it a PE requirement. So she would have already had that. So we could actually even within the schedule, we could add whatever the girls are taking independently. Like if they're taking piano lessons or they're taking track lessons or they're, on a soccer team, we could add that in and include that and just give them an A for it in the system. And then, that would be sufficient to record the requirement if we wanted to get that technical, right? But I think this is pretty awesome. It allows us to keep up with all the things that the girls have had within the system. We don't have to go back and forth between a spreadsheet or a list. You don't have to keep it somewhere else. You could put everything in here for all the girls, everything that that they've had. And the system is helping us track it with what they're already taking. So I think that's pretty awesome. But I wanted to share with you this so that you can see how, now that it's all set up. And what I had to do in order to do this, I had to go to schedule. And then when I did the courses, so under graduation requirement, I had to fill in what each thing fulfilled. Like Earth and Sky doesn't fulfill a requirement. It's just a 7th grade science. Foundations Math doesn't fulfill a requirement. But the biology fulfills biology. And the Algebra 1 fulfills Algebra 1. A&P is just another high school science. So it fulfills a high school science requirement. Algebra 3 fulfills a high school math requirement. Personal finance fulfills a high school math requirement. Physics is a high school science. But what we have to do is we have to make sure that in this course list, that whether we are offering that course this year or not, it stays in the list, right? So all the courses that we've ever offered stays in the list so that the girls get credit for it. So, yeah. So that is important that they get that and have that that option. So I think, yeah, let me see. I took accounting out at the beginning of the year because we weren't going to offer accounting next year. So I'm going to add it back in. I'm just going to see if that helps. Accounting. All right. And then I'm going to have it fulfill a high school math. 1 credit. Done. All right. Let me go back to, let me go to guidance plan. And let me see who, I think Brianna. Let's go to grade 12. I think Brianna Asselson had it one like last year. Yeah, so it gave her accounting as a credit. Personal finance, she got an F. So I'm going to take that off of her because she didn't do it. I'm going to take it off of what she did last year. But you can see that it will, let me do Sarah Ashcraft. She didn't finish her personal finance either. But you could see what it will do. So English. So this should be language arts, 1 credit. Language arts, 1 credit. So she didn't get language arts. Let's do language arts here. So that gives her language arts here. So that should give her 1, 2, 3. And ELA seniors. So now we can just visually know that she has the 4 credits, right? 'Cause she's going to be taking ELA seniors this year. Now, my only other question that I wanted to explore was how does this affect their scheduling? So I want to go to schedule, add drop student. Let me go back to Sarah where I added in ELA seniors. All right, so that's for the first semester published. Okay, that's what it is because it has those 2 there. So let me go to schedule plan or guidance plan. All right, those are the only 2 classes that she's been added to. So let me do, what other math does she need for diploma? She probably has had pre-algebra and algebra 1. I don't know when or how, but I'm going to just add I'm going to add algebra 1 here, just for the sake of adding in algebra 1. And then go back and see what it says on her schedule. If it'll recommend it, if it'll tell us that she needs it. No, it doesn't. Okay. So that doesn't do it. I was hoping it would give me a list somewhere of, you can click plan though, and it'll go right back to the plan. Okay. So plan and schedule. Oh, you can go back and forth. Oh, that is so cool. So you can go from your plan and see what they have, or click schedule and it'll go back to what they actually have in their schedule. So you can go back and forth between the 2. Let me click grid view. Oh, it does. If you go to the grid view, it will tell you what's required because it was added in. So nice. Okay, so it does include the plan in the grid view. Nice. All right, so let me go back to plan, and I'm going to take that off of her list. Let me go back to schedule. Okay, so now it's gone. So in grid view, it does tell you what they need to have added based on what we have planned for them. Okay, I know this is a long video. I'm going to stop now, and I can, show you more later, but I think that's pretty cool. This is going to help us a lot with our scheduling, I think. I think it'll help us to Make sure that we have the right classes each year, and that we don't have to jump back and forth between documents, and we'll have everything in one place, which will be pretty awesome. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share, what I had done, how I had set up the graduation requirements, and what each course fulfilled to reconcile those requirements, and then how you can go into the each girl's plan and set it up. And then I just discovered that you can go back and forth between the plan and the schedule, which is pretty cool. So you can see. So I like that. That's really, really very helpful, and pretty awesome. And I'm done. And I will see you later today.